The Final Fantasy Wiki Podcast is brought to you by the Philabeilphia Eagles, celebrating their Super Bowl championship. What is Philabeilphia, anyway? I don't know if that's the best take in the world, but I don't really care too much. What?
Is it possible to make a good take of that one?
No, not really. Philabeilphia. You could have a Philabeilphia cheesesteak, a cheese baked bilf, I guess. And man, what? All right, so the Adventures of Elliot. Just Elliot.
Yeah.
And he goes to Philabeilphia.
Philabeilphia. He lives in the world of Philabeilphia, in the state of Pennsylvania. United Plates of America. You know, I kind of watched that trailer. I think it looks alright. The Adventures of Elliot, the new video game that's been announced by Square Enix, who make a video game franchise called Final Fantasy, of which there is a wiki called the Final Fantasy Wiki, and we are the guys that talk about it. That affirmation came from SomeColourMage.
Yes, hi.
Also joining us this month is Catuse.
Hello.
And I'm your host, BlueHighwind. Or BlueHighwind, I guess. I can't with Philabeilphia. It's breaking my ability to speak and my ability to think.
I think I figured it out, actually.
Okay.
There's this internet urban legend of like a Japanese guy who's like obsessed with Philadelphia. He has like a Philadelphia Eagles themed bar in Tokyo, I think.
Oh, that rules.
And I think that probably Square Enix consulted with him to make this game, and they were like, let's put a red mage on the cover. But actually, it's going to be the Philadelphia Eagles, but
Philabeilphia. You know,
I think that's what this game is about.
Speaking of the Philabeilphia Eagles, my Broncos, the Debler Blanco, they are going to be in Philadelphia, and I was looking up ticket prices, and it is $300 at minimum, because they just won the Super Bowl. So I don't think I'm going to go to that game, even though I don't live that far from Philadelphia. I might have to take a rain check on that one. $300 is a lot of money. But that's only, like 30% of a PlayStation 5 now, because Sony's raising prices another $50. Mm-hmm.
I am never going to get a PS5. God.
I don't think you are. Alright, so it is clearly a worse console than the PlayStation 4. I think history has already clearly showed that. And the price only goes up. And, I mean, good video games have come out this year for the PlayStation 5. Expedition 33, of which I have to actually play more than 2 hours of. And I assume other video games have also come out, right?
I mean, there's plenty of games. Most of them just don't stay there anymore. Yeah, there's not a lot of exclusives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, your alternative is paying for, you know, the Israeli army to murder people if you get into Microsoft platforms. So that's fun. God.
Yeah, but like the general thing is that the advantage of the console, aside from exclusives, is that it just works. You plug it into something, and it doesn't turn into a fucking mess where Windows gets mad at you for stupid reasons, or you just give up and replace it with Linux, or doing whatever you can. And you know, there's also like Steam Decks now. They are not as popular as a lot of people who are really into the gaming scene think they are. They've been successful, but not like wildly out of control. So, but like at this point, it's increasingly looking like the only piece of gaming tech you need is either a good computer or a Switch 2.
And you don't really need a Switch 2 just yet, I don't think. Donkey Kong looks alright, but, I'm waiting for... I don't know what I'm waiting for, actually. I don't know if I'm even going to get a Switch 2. I've kind of had this weird year where I've, fallen out of the video game release cycle entirely. I might be back with Final Fantasy Tactics. Well, Hollow Knight. Silk Song is finally happening, so I guess I will finally buy a newly released video game next week. That's kind of an emergency situation. And after that, I might have to wait until, I don't know. Well, Mina the Hollower's coming on after that. And then Demon School, that's also happening. And then presumably Hades 2 will have a proper release date. And then Final Fantasy Tactics in September. For October, right? When Final Fantasy Tactics end of September?
End of September.
End of September,
like
yeah.
September 30th or something like that.
Yeah, we got to wake ourselves up when September ends and go back to Evilise. For $50, I discovered that recently. I know they put a lot of work into it, and it took them 8 years to make a Final Fantasy Tactics remake again. But I feel like $50 is a lot of money to ask for a video game that was released in 1998. Am I alone on that one?
Yeah, it's...
I don't know. How much is
kind of iffy, yeah.
Because, when I bought it on PlayStation Portable, it was $35. That's what handheld games used to cost back when we had handheld video games. How much is the Dragon Quest remake going for? The HD whatever. Dragon Quest 1 and 2. Price.
Steam is
$59.99. And that's a more extensive remake, and you're getting, in theory, 2 video games, but I think both of them would be shorter than Final Fantasy Tactics. Yeah, that's October 30th. But that's still full price, effectively. Well, I guess full price is now $70 or $80, because, the world is the world right now. How's the world been treating you guys, by the way? It's been a while since we've done one of these. That well. Okay. Yeah?
I'm in a situation of my own making, which is that moving to another country, even just for a year or two, sucks ass.
Mm-hmm. I know Canadian... It's Canada, right? Canadian visas is kind of a mess. I need to cross the border to go to England in October, and I am super nervous about going through, the God Emperor's border controls. That's going to be fun. Anyway, let's talk about Final Fantasy. Let's talk about news stuff. We'll start there. So, where should we start? We did talk about the adventures of Elliot a little bit. That is coming to Nintendo Switch 2, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series XS, and PC via Steam and Microsoft Store in 2026. And they released a demo that I did not play. I probably should have, but whatever. Also, there is Octopath Traveler 0. That's coming to Nintendo Switch 2, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox Series XS, Windows, and Steam on December 4th. It's going to have 8 character parties.
Right, yeah, this is a reimagining of the Octopath Traveler gacha game that earlier this year Square Enix decided, we're kind of done with this. We're going to just let NetEase handle it from now on.
Oh, I didn't realize that this was a adaptation of a gacha game.
Yeah, this is based on Champions of the Continent.
Okay. I mean, it kind of had interesting ideas. Now I'm much less interested in it. An 8-character party is more than I've ever seen in any JRPG before. That seems like a very interesting thing to have to balance for. Also, it has town building, and you can create your own main character. But is it going to be that same gacha style? This is not free to play, is it?
No, it's a full release. Like, I was actually looking that stuff up, and you're asking about the price of the Tactics remake. According to PlayStation Store in Australia, it's the exact same price.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, I guess Final Fantasy Tactics is a deal, considering it's apparently $10 American less than Octopath Traveler 0. So that was something that was announced all the way back on like August 10th. There was a Nintendo Direct, partner Direct. It's been a very interesting launch for the Nintendo Switch 2, considering very, very few companies have access to Nintendo Switch dev kits. So Nintendo's been very, very heavy-handed in making sure as few companies as possible get out there. I think just to like stop just an incomprehensible deluge as everyone wants to escape to the one seemingly successful platform right now.
I guess, and also it's been like a complete mess. Like, if you don't want to have like a giant game, physical cartridges aren't really an option at the moment, because Nintendo only manufactured them to one size. If you want something smaller, the only way to make it affordable is that game keycard shit.
Yeah, I remember seeing some news that Cyberpunk 2077, like most of its sales were the physical release, not a download one.
Mm.
People do want physical media, even if it's mostly for show and has been for easily a decade now.
Yeah, and like the Switch 2 has been selling well, but from all accounts, it is mostly Nintendo benefiting from that, and not the third parties.
There was a news report of one third party complaining that the Switch 2 sales were not as good as possible, and immediately I thought it must be Square Enix complaining.
Maybe, I don't know, but
there's never been a sales report that Square Enix has gotten that they didn't think, you know what, it could have been 5 million more.
But yeah, apparently the best-selling third-party game on the Switch 2 has been Deltarune. So,
I could see that on. Have you seen the new like map? You can go and draw pixels on everything. I think it's like place or something. Yeah, it is just
I've got that open right now.
It's all Deltarune.
Yeah, that's Deltarune all over the place.
It's Deltarune everywhere. The hospital that I was born in, last time I checked, that exact pixel is now a heart for a main character times. Who's the little kid? The like black magey looking kid.
Rousey?
Yeah, Rousey. It's a Krause. It's a Krause meme. That's what it is. Alright. So that's the new things that got announced. And wasn't there something else that got announced like just this very second? I feel like I missed something. Oh, Triangle Strategy got released on August 20th on PlayStation and Xbox platforms.
Mm-hmm.
Triangle Strategy, the video game that Square Enix made to make a new Final Fantasy Tactics, was let's not pretend that it was anywhere close to as successful. Even though I really like Triangle Strategy, I think it's a more interesting game than people have given it credit for. But that's out now on everything.
All of the HD 2D games have been pretty good. They've sometimes been a bit rough around the edges. Like I'm currently, I started playing the first Octopath Traveler again, and the gameplay core is still solid. It's just that the writing was a bit non-cohesive. But like the game's still good, and Triangle Strategy was good, and they went on to do Octopath Traveler 2, which is very good.
You know what my biggest complaint with Octopath Traveler is that I played Live Alive, and that was doing the exact same thing much more interestingly, came together in a much more interesting way, and is just a vastly better video game. And came out in the early 90s. Have you played Live Alive?
Yeah.
Okay. Live Alive kicks ass. There's a cowboy level. Is there a cowboy level in Octopath Traveler? I don't remember, because none of those characters were very interesting.
And Octopath Traveler 2 has kind of the Wild West aesthetic in its desert area.
I haven't played that. I didn't even look at who the characters were for that one. Let's look at some other news stuff that's happened. So this is early August. There was a report about Square Enix's profits. Isn't this always fun to go talk about Square Enix's financial status and that sort of thing? So the Gamer was reporting that Square Enix's profits are massively down and sales are massively down, but profits were up. They suffered an 11 billion yen drop in net sales for its digital entertainment segment between April and June 2025 relative to last year, but yet had made a billion yen more profit based on a quarterly report that Square Enix released for, I think it's Q1, their Q1 earnings. Square Enix's stock price soared 78% upon that report, thanks to investor optimism surrounding 3D investment and 3D investment partners' stake in the company. There's some investment partners that have sold in. And there's a whole bunch of boring... Yeah, they have to release.
Did they release anything during that quarter? Because I don't remember anything coming out, and when that's the case, yeah, of course sales are going to be down.
Quarter one, that'd be April and June. I think the only thing they released was the Bravely Default remake.
Right.
I think that's literally the only thing. And I guess gacha game stuff continuing. Final Fantasy XIV might have had a patch of some sort. No?
That was this month.
Much significance.
Okay. All right. So really nothing of significance now. Yeah. The Gamer also makes a comment that they use the term amortization. And that's some business speak for you. Anyway, if you are an investor in Square Enix, I guess your money is in good hands, even if who the hell knows when Final Fantasy XVII is going to come out. Which is really what matters, isn't it? When is Final Fantasy XVII coming out?
2030.
2030? 2034. That's my bet. I will be 43 years old when that game comes out. And then I will be in my 80s when Final Fantasy XVIII comes out. Their releases are going to be increasing in exponential rates. So then I'll have to be in my 300s by the time that Final Fantasy XIX comes out. Don't check my math.
You're probably right about that. I mean, they used to put out 3 of these bitches every year.
Used to be able to make them with 12 people in one office versus needing about a half hour worth of end credits. We also got a new Final Fantasy Tactics trailer that came out on July 31st. This shows off that the game is going to be fully voiced. And weirdly enough, based on this trailer, the PlayStation Portable FMVs are going to be in this version. At least that's what they showed. One other comment I thought is, since the game is fully voiced, they do have the little character portraits in the bottom of the screen, which before were just static. Now they gave them little lip flaps, and I think that's just hilarious. It's adorable.
We have gotten a lot about tactics this month.
We've got this is the big story of the year basically. It's Final Fantasy Tactics remake. There's going to be a new art book coming out with the original Final Fantasy Tactics art and War of the Lions art and new stuff. It's coming out October 2nd. The art of Final Fantasy Tactics. There's a whole big release on Nova Crystallis going over everything that's been added in here. We're apparently getting the Zodiac Brave story, radio dramas that came with it. Do you remember that stuff? That was Japan only for the original PlayStation release. Very, very weird thing that most people would have completely forgotten that's even there. There's a new UI, high resolution graphics that I think kind of look worse than the original, to be honest. So they've rewritten some of the script, refined cinematics, which is just the PlayStation Portable versions, and voice chants will appear in battle. I guess they're bringing back the... in the PlayStation Portable version, they removed the characters yelling out little things when they made spells, and I guess that's going to be back now.
Yeah, that was a dumb decision, and now that's back.
You can also retreat from random battles on the overworld, where before you had to fight those, or this is why you had to save every single step you made previously, because you could end up in a battle with like 20 monks, and that's unwinnable. Or the battle against the red chocobos, which is very, very difficult.
Not only that, but when the main story lets you do multiple... when the main story has things where you do multiple battles in a row, in between fights you're allowed to just say, nope, I can't do this, back out of the entire thing.
Oh, great. So the Wheatgraph fight at the end of Chapter 3, which probably ended so many people's campaigns, that's not going to get you
You do still have to do the whole thing over when you go back there, but at least you can actually retreat and replan stuff.
Looks like you can recruit up to 50 units this time. I don't remember what the original amount was.
The PSX version, the limit was pretty tiny. They upped it in the PSP version so you could actually hold on to all of the unique characters.
I didn't realize that the PlayStation version had like a super low unit count. I don't know how they ever expected you to use monsters. Not that I don't think many people ever did use monsters in this game. They're just not very good units. Like, it's hard to get around that.
Oh yeah, there's just not much to them.
No. You also have a full job tree that you can see within the game, so you don't need to go to a website like finalfantasy.fandom.com for assistance when it comes to who's going to be, how you get a black mage to evolve into a calculator or whatever.
I think that's like our number 1 or number 2 most visited page or something like that.
I bet... Are they re-changing the job tree again? Because they did do that for the PlayStation Portable version. Like, random changes, like you need to be a level 7 knight and a level 5 monk, and then you can be a ninja, that sort of thing. I imagine they've rejiggered all of that.
Here it is. The roster limit was 16 in PlayStation 1 and 24 crazy. On PSP.
16 is... Yeah, alright. You can save 3 sets of job and equipment and abilities. So you can just, flip Ramza to his Dragoon set or Ramza to his Freelancer set, I guess, if you have all that ready. And you can register favorite units, which is an interesting idea, but I don't feel like it's all that good considering you're just going to end up using Thunder God Sid.
Yeah. I don't see how you rebalance him to be fair.
Oh, there's a difficult setting now.
He shouldn't be fair. He's Thunder God Sid.
Yeah, I know. There's difficult, so you have casual, standard, and tactical. I might set this to tactical. There are quite a few mods to Final Fantasy Tactics, and they're all, psychopathic level of difficulty, so I've always been afraid to try them, but I think I could get through this with all these, quality of life changes that they've done.
Mm-hmm.
You can... this is a good one. So you can actually see the terrain where you're deploying the unit. So if there's... you want to put your archer up on a hill, you can actually see that when you deploy it, it's going to be up there and not at the bottom of the hill. And you can have a bird's eye view, which I think the PlayStation version did have, or I might be thinking of Tactics Ogre.
Tactics Ogre definitely has that.
Autosave, manual save. You could rewatch cutscenes, that's fine. And apparently there's a classic version, which will just give you the 1997 version. It's not a place...
7 writing.
No, it's the War of the Lions script, apparently. Just minus Balthier, unfortunately.
Well, they can't exactly use the original English script because that script does kind of fall apart in the final act.
The script,
Like,
I think was incoherent, like in the first scene, wasn't it?
It's incoherent in like the tutorial,
Yes.
and like, but like the early story makes sense until it doesn't.
Yeah. I'm really curious how they're going to handle the whole Jesus is evil thing in this version. I've always been curious what Ultima's going to sound like. I remember there being an edit war about Ultima's gender. That was fun back in 2007.
I believe we did get an English voice cast recently.
Oh.
Was that... yeah, I think that was on Nova Crystallis's Blue Sky. I saw it posted.
I know Ben the Man, he's going to be in this. Ben Starr is Daisadar. Here we have a behind the voice actors. This has the full cast that's been announced at least.
Yeah, here it is. I mean, we don't have Ultima on there.
A lot of Japanese names. Hannah Melbourne is apparently going to be Agrius. I don't know who that is, I'll admit. Brianna White is playing Mysterious Flower Peddler. Who could that possibly be?
Right, here's the cast list, which does not include the Final Fantasy VII cameos. You can probably guess who those are going to be played as, but Ramza, Joe Pitt, Delita, Greg Lowe, Avelia, Eleanor Bennett, Alma, Emily Carey, Agrius, Hannah Melbourne, Daisadarg, Ben Starr, Mastadio, Harry McIntyre, Sid, Timothy Watson, Geoff Garion, Paul Panting, Argarth, Ben Allen, Duke Larg, Hugh Parmenter, Duke Goltana, Kevin McNally, and Oren Matthew Duckett.
That is maybe a quarter of the entire cast. There's a lot of people in this video game. This isn't even all the playable characters.
Yeah, that's just the cast list I have.
Yeah, I see the same link that you have. Yeah, Rafa and her idiot brother, they're not on here. The evil bishop that turns into Cuchulainn, I don't see him here either.
That's something that I actually want to see, if they're animating the faces. I want to see Cuchulainn's disgusting face.
Mm-hmm.
I
hope they go like super. I hope they go super like juicy with it and just like give him like, he should sound like the Oogie Boogie Man because he is the Oogie Boogie Man. Like, I really want them to go super hammy with it, but I bet they're not going to. Well, that's the chance you get. It's weird that they have Duke Larg and Duke Goltana on this cast list because those two characters have like 4 lines between them in the actual script. Anyway, is there anything else?
And maybe some of them are getting more because they are like the enhanced version does have changed and new scenes and such. So,
is there anything in Final Fantasy Tactics that I'm missing? I feel like we've covered quite a bit. I'm going to take that as a no. I think we've covered everything where Final Fantasy Tactics is. We'll come back to this as Square Enix announces more stuff, and we'll have a full episode to vote it to Final Fantasy Tactics Remake in October. It'll be nice and spooky. Next thing, let's talk about some Final Fantasy XIV stuff. I'll start with the most important story, which is apparently if you put a garment and assume the plain standing pose in the fitting screen, it protrudes from the solar plexus, creating an unnatural pregnant-like silhouette. So that way you can go and give your male characters a pregnancy appearance.
Right, the Mpreg glitch. I had forgotten about that until you started talking about it.
Well, you were the investigative reporter that found this Blue Sky tweet. That is very important.
I think the thumbnail on the YouTube version of this is going to have to be a mix of the Mpreg bug and also one other thing I reposted earlier today, which is a montage of Yoshida's face just saying "shut up." which is related to something else we'll get to.
Well, yeah, we have a lot of Yoshida talk, as it turns out. The dude's been on a bit of a press tour. Oh, boy. So, yeah, if you do want your me quote to look pregnant, that's possible now. Congratulations to everyone who has had their dreams fulfilled. Speaking of Final Fantasy XIV, there's going to be a crossover with Monster Hunter Wilds.
Right.
And a trailer for that was announced. I think that's the only Square Enix thing that happened during our big Gamescom event this month.
Right, yeah, because all that other stuff was before Gamescom, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah, I mean...
On the Final Fantasy 14 side, we are getting what is it called? It is a monster that is new to Wilds and is like important to that game's story. It's God, what is it? I have it somewhere in here. Arkveld. That's what it's called. And Monster Hunter Wild is getting Omega.
Oh, good for them. I wish that they would get a Chocobo like they did with the Assassin's Creed crossover, but because Assassin's Creed couldn't handle a Chocobo, they gave it 4 legs.
Yeah, the fucking cursed camel thing.
Yeah. Ubisoft cannot program Chocobo. This is our workaround. Oh, that's an all-timer moment.
God, that thing looked terrible.
Let's pause Final Fantasy XIV. We have so much more Final Fantasy XIV to go. Here in sadder news, Final Fantasy Brave Exvius and a different video game that I've never heard of called Dragon Quest of the Stars. These are 2 mobile games. Brave Exvius closed down shop in the West earlier this year, but now it is shutting down in Japan, and will be shutting down on October 31st. I don't know if Dragon Quest of the Stars was ever available outside Japan, but soon enough will not be available inside Japan either. So that is yet another step on Square Enix's kind of rapid de-investment from the entire mobile space. I'm not sure how many mobile games they have left at this point.
I have heard concerns that the gacha development in Japan in general has been doing pretty terribly, and that kind of makes sense because China basically ate their lunch. It's almost all going to Mario now.
Well, I can't say I would want to play Final Fantasy Brave Exvius when there's like that super train thing or whatever, right? Whatever the hell that thing's called. Infinity Train. I've seen all these trailers. They all look exactly the same. But there's so much better anime games than anything Square Enix has ever made. Honkai Star Rail. That's the thing. And Wuthering Waves. Zenless Zone Zero. Who is giving us anything to compete on that level from Square Enix? Mm-hmm. Like, at that point, the level of production's so high, you might as well just make Final Fantasy 17.
Yeah. Or you may as well take the ideas of a gacha game that you made and say, hey, let's just make this into a real game. So anyway, Octopath Traveler 0.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe that can finally be the goddamn sequel to Nier Automata that I've been asking for since forever. Could you just go and take the Nier mobile game that was extremely boring and make a real video game out of it? Speaking of, the First Descendant is crossing over with Nier Automata. That's my Nier content.
Wait, so I'm glancing at our list of iOS spin-offs. Okay, War of the Lion still exists.
Uh-huh.
Crystal Chronicles Remastered was shut down because of bugs.
Uh-huh.
Airborne Brigade is defunct. Dimensions still exist. Art Nix is defunct. Beat Rhythm is defunct. All the Bravest is defunct. Rest in piss. Tactics S is defunct. Picked Logica is defunct. Agito is defunct. Arctic Dive is defunct. WWW is defunct. Record Keeper is Japan exclusive. G-Bike is defunct. Dimensions 2 exists. Portal app exists. Mobius is defunct. Grandmasters is defunct. Brave Exvius is now defunct. Brave Exvius War of the Vision. What the fuck is this?
I think that also shut down.
Brave Exvius War of the Visions is the one that's a sort of tactics-like game.
Adventures of Mana, that still exists. Awakening is defunct. Justice Monster. They killed Justice Monsters 5? God damn it.
Now Final Fantasy 15 is unplayable.
Wrath of the Dark... I don't even know what this is. Wrath of the Dark Dragon is defunct. Explorer's Force is defunct. A New Empire is defunct. Okay, so of like 30 iOS games, like 5 of them are still playable.
Yeah, really and like, bad. If you ever noticed, most of the ones that aren't defunct are ones that are actually full games. Like, Dimensions is just a one-off purchase, get full game. Dimension 2 had to be reworked into a game that wasn't a gacha because it did so terribly. The Portal app is just a news thing. Like, yeah, the gachas just all crash and burn.
Well, I mean, they were extremely successful at some level. I remember reading that somebody spent like $15,000 on one of them. I don't remember which one it is because they all kind of blend together at a certain point, but I was just a normal guy. He spent $15,000 trying to get like lightning or something. God bless. God damn.
Oh my.
I mean, isn't that kind of the problem? Is that they make these games for the whales, but then because they're only making them for the whales, they're just sort of nothing games. The only thing in them is whales trying to pull. And so that's why all these games are exactly the same, and eventually they shut down.
Yeah, in my experience, the most exciting thing about them, unfortunately, is trying to pull the character you want. And then once you do that, which is going to happen one way or the other, it's like, why am I playing this extremely boring video game? Because I put a lot of time into the Nier gacha game. I put like a good 20 hours or something. And all that was just so I was able to unlock enough juice that I was able to finally get 2B. And then I got her. And I'm like, all right, why am I still playing this? I have 2B, I have 9S, I have A2. This is it. I'm done. I'm set. There's nothing else that's here except going to the next story moment, which the story was going nowhere real fast. It was a long, dull trot of a video game.
Yeah, like, do you remember Kingdom Hearts Union Cross and how that final world took something like 2-3 years for them to finally get through?
Oh, we forgot First Soldier, or no, Final Fantasy Ever Crisis. Was that on the list?
Those games aren't even on the iOS. I was just looking at the iOS. I should look at
it. I'm pretty sure it is on iOS.
Yeah, it should be on that list.
Okay, well, our...
First Soldier is defunct. We know that.
We list Ever Crisis as part of the main series for reasons that I don't understand.
What?
No, we should not.
We absolutely do fucking not. Who did that, and is it who I think it was?
All right.
Like, don't name names on the podcast, but you can just say yes if it is exactly who I think is.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, let's not say anything more about that.
Wiki drama alert. Anyway. You know what? I tried to log into the wiki because I haven't edited in like decades, and I completely forgot what my password was.
Rip.
Yeah. I need to. All right, we'll be doing a game next month, and I need to create a user page for it, and I've mostly forgotten how to do anything because everything looks different now. But that's another thing. That's called getting old, children. Where were we? Oh yeah, the closure of those two games. Rest in peace. You'll find something else to play, I'm sure, everybody involved in that. Alright, let's talk about Final Fantasy XIV. So, alright, there was a Lodestone post that just came out. This is by Yoshi-P regarding mod usage and culture.
Okay. So, story time.
Yes.
Okay, so we have been over the topics of mods again and again. So I think we've established by now all game mods are against the terms of service, and there are good reasons for this. This is a Square Enix game. It is a console-first game. They do not want, people acting like, oh, the PC is a superior platform because you can make all these changes and stuff. And there's also a bunch of other reasons that we will get into later. But anyway, despite this, of course, there's been a giant modding community that continuously tends to cause problems, especially when an Ultimate Raid has come out, which is an issue we have covered multiple times on this podcast, because people just will not stop fucking cheating at those fights. But anyway, this time we are talking about a mod called Mare Synchronos. What this is that it is basically a mod sharing mod. What it does is that you basically connect with another user, and then you can download all the mods that they have to change their character appearance, download them and apply them to that character. And as you might be able to guess, this causes problems. So Square Enix finally got sick of all this. Sent a legal notice to the guy running it, and he said, "Okay, yeah, I'm not going to fight this. I'm going to shut it down." I think by this point it already is shut down. So of course people got mad.
Last week. They got a cease and desist.
notice. Yeah. So people got mad because Square Enix is saying, hey, stop doing the thing that we keep telling you to stop doing, essentially.
So Kotaku, by the way, calls this Gooner 911.
God,
this is the least shitty article I've seen on Kotaku.
I seriously think that the word Gooner was a psyop to make masturbation sound like some great evil. Because, like, Jesus Christ, that's the most disgusting way you could put it. Just.
I don't know. So many words for... Well, all right. This is an important question that I must ask. Would you rather have the word goon or fap? Which one do you think is more more respectable? Fap.
Yeah, I mean, between those two, I'd say fap. But like, I am the token Commonwealth country person here, so I just say wank.
Oh, wank is a good one. Oh yeah. Yeah, we can't say wank here, unfortunately. That's banned. Tariffs and stuff.
Damn tariffs. But yeah, anyway, as people dug into this, there were kinds of problems with Mare Synchronos. The big thing is that I'm sure we covered this at some point. There was a mod that allowed you to use player IDs to stalk people that Square Enix went nuclear on earlier this year because, Jesus Christ, you are absolutely not allowed to do that under any circumstance. And people realized that, Mare Synchronos, because it runs on its own servers, it had to have a circumstance to ban people, mechanics to ban people who were abusing the platform. And the way it did it was, according to people who knew this stuff, very similar to the thing that got that one mod nuked. So there's already no surprise they went after that. But finally, Yoshida just today put out this statement. It's quite a long one, and actually starts with a notification that if the media outlets and people reposting this stuff, please just link to this instead of summarizing or providing only excerpts. And a lot of it is basically just restating the stance that Yoshida has always had, which is, I understand mods exist. I've used mods in other games, but that does not change the terms of service of Square Enix. you're just not allowed to use this, and we have reasons for this. And he actually does kind of explicitly go into these reasons, while also pointing out that...
I can quote this. I have it in front of me if you'd like.
Yeah. Go ahead.
This, I think, is one of the more interesting parts in here. So, let's consider another theoretical mod, one that displays your character entirely naked. If this presentation is displayed on the user's screen, that might fall into a category of personal use and responsibility. Open parentheses, bear in mind this is my personal interpretation and not a discussion of whether that behavior is right or wrong, end parentheses. However, if the user posts a screenshot of their naked character publicly on social media, Final Fantasy XIV itself may be subject to legal measures by regulators in certain countries. Laws that regulate the content of video games grow stricter by the year. These laws are there to protect minors for a variety of reasons, but the fact remains that they are tangibly becoming stricter. We have a duty to provide our services in adherence to the laws of all countries where Final Fantasy XIV is available, and if we are unable to do so, the distribution of our game can be prohibited. This is another example of damage dealt to our services.
Right. Yeah, that's probably the real big one, because, we don't really cover this because we're focused on a single company, but... there have been shitfits about payment processes being really weird about not safe for work recently.
And that's not recent. That's been something that's been going on the last few years, but it's gotten to an increasing fever pitch over the last few months. Basically, Steam cannot. Steam has been forced to go on a full war against pornographic games. itch.io had to go drop everything that was pornographic. It is a dark situation with all that. My opinion on that would just be, if you're trying to ban porn, you can go fuck right the fuck off.
Or just not fuck, considering that's apparently what you want to do with your life, but,
that's a brutal... Yeah, you can kind of connect the dots as to what certain political positions and political movements may be leading to a vast resurgence of conservatism around the entire world, and what conservatism has traditionally been a part of. Ironic, considering the people voting for this are also people who were howling about vagina bones about 10 years ago, but whatever.
Yeah, there are certain things that I would like to say, but... These episodes do go onto YouTube, and I'm pretty sure what I would like to say would be a terms of service violation.
I would not allow myself to post. Let's just say our real thoughts are unthinkable in some ways. That seems like much of the internet's default position at this point for the way the world is.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I think that's this is I want to say the second biggest company that's actually alluded to something about this, because, there is also, Steam, Valve, who at one point just outright said, MasterCard's excuse for all this is completely full of shit. They're the ones telling the payment processors to put the screws on us.
Not a great time to be in the customer service department of that company. And let me tell you, being on a customer service department on a phone line is a nightmare job.
There's also like a few things that are much more specific to Final Fantasy XIV in here, which like one thing Yoshida points out, we don't care that much if you use a mod to give yourself items that you have to buy from the online store. But when you start sharing that with others, the problem is they've been using the online store to counteract the effects of inflation. And if you keep doing that, no one is going to buy from the store, and they will have to raise subscription costs.
What's interesting is that a lot of video game companies are much, much stricter with mod sort of things, with anti-cheat engines being downloadable right there, having kernel-level controls on your computer, which is some terrifying stuff, and apparently is perfectly standard.
Yeah, Yoshida has been very insistent that he does not want to do anything will intentionally degrade the performance of the game. That is a trade-off of all that anti-cheat stuff. It does make the game run worse. So and he doesn't want to do that.
Yes, that's all fun and serious stuff.
But I have said constantly in the Discord and stuff, there's going to be a point where legal just stops caring and overrules him.
Yeah, he is people... especially for a Japanese developer on any level, Yoshida is remarkably liberal with this sort of stuff.
If people do not stop waving this stuff in Square Enix's face, because this is the biggest problem, that people are fucking idiots and do stuff like, I'm going to post my mods on Twitter and tag it #FFXIV, the usual tag for everyone to use, and Square Enix also uses. What the fuck are you idiots doing? First rule, when you are breaking terms of service or copyright, shut the fuck up.
It's particularly remarkable in that Yoshi doesn't exactly make it a secret that the rule in practice is don't ask, don't tell. But the part of don't ask, don't tell is don't tell.
Yeah.
It's really just shut the fuck up Fridays about that sort of stuff. It's you look at you compare it to how Nintendo handles things, where let's say your Mario Kart for the new Switch 2, and people want to just play the tracks that they like, the traditional style of Mario Kart, and they found a workaround, and Nintendo will just stop you from doing that. Not that it's any abuse, not any economy's getting messed up. People just want to play the game a certain way. Nintendo will mod in and break it because you have to play the game their way. Yeah. And Yoshida has been pretty lenient, all things considered. The fact that he's even bothering to write this out at all and not just saying, no, here, legal's going to write this up and tell you that this is not happening. I'm sure legal looked at this whole thing forward and backwards, of course, but
Yeah, probably. There's no way legal doesn't know about this statement, which, I mean, in some cases, in a sense, it is a bit of a loosening of the rule, because this statement is outright saying that, if this mod does not affect how the game communicates with the server and you are not sharing this mod with other people, then it's okay. But at the same time, this rule in the terms of service dates back to the very start of Final Fantasy XI, and it's been probably about a decade at this point since they gave up trying to ban Windower. So, they know that modding is inevitable, and they are just talking about the bare minimum to avoid having to actually do something about it.
Yeah. Should we move on to the 7.3 new stuff?
Oh yeah, so also this month, was the Promise of Tomorrow, the latest story patch, which is sort of the end of the main arc of Dawn Trail. So this we got to fight Necron.
Finally,
he makes more sense within the context of what happened in this game than the context of what happened in Final Fantasy IX.
Oh, I gotta see what Necron looks like in Final Fantasy XIV.
Although I guess based on
I've been looking for a high def version. Okay, turns out it was pecs, not boobs. I'm curious about that since the PlayStation era.
The special site did update recently, so yeah, there's a render of that now.
Always looked like boobs to me, but it looks like the Final Fantasy XIV most HD version, it's more like pecs.
Yeah, Necron is kind of ripped.
Oh, Necron's always been ripped, but,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, did you post something?
Yeah, I posted
okay.
the official render of Necron in the chat.
Still could be boobs. Hard to tell. Anyway.
Yeah, but yeah, I thought it was kind of clever because Necron is basically being summoned there to just kill the Warrior of Light once and for all. This is the Eternals just want the Calix, the person who was running all these Eternal Life schemes, just wants to get us out of the way first before he goes on with his whole Eternal Life gambit. And basically his entire scheme this entire time was to make all of the Alexandrians afraid of dying. So they would pray to try and stop it, which creates a primal.
A new primal?
So...
Are primals like something that typically get generated?
Yeah, they're the summons.
Okay.
So it summoned Necron, and because Necron is now this deity of the fear of death, it is immune to dying, because if you try to kill it, it gets scared of dying, which only makes itself stronger.
That's some Final Fantasy 13 bullshit right there.
Yeah.
So Necron is created. It looks like there's a new character, Calix. That's from 7.2.
Right. Yeah, right. So Calix is basically the scientist that created the Eternals and such. It basically chronically ill and was scared of all this, wanted to live forever, and came up with these stupid rationalizations about like the evolution of mankind and such to justify that he's doing really shitty things to do this.
So is he like the Garland of this?
Yes.
To use the Final Fantasy IX metaphor.
He's the closest equivalent to Garland, yeah. Or I guess kind of a cross between Garland and Kuja, maybe?
Garland and who's the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth kid that everyone hates?
Chadley.
Yeah, Chadley Garland, that's who he is.
But yeah, so like we do eventually defeat Necron, and because this is probably the most shonen anime expansion of the entirety of Final Fantasy XIV, we basically just do it by hitting it even harder.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. But also because like this is the ending of the Dawn Trail arc, it's going to start setting up for the next expansion. So it's like pointing out stuff like Calix knew how to summon a primal. That should not be possible. Ascians must be fucking involved in this bullshit.
Oh, those guys again?
Yeah, well, not all of the Ascians were wiped out at the end of the Hydaelyn Zodiac story arc. All of the the species that became the Ascians are extinct, but there was still 13 of them running around at the time of Realm Reborn. We haven't killed all of them yet. At the very end, Calix did survive all this. It's kind of really funny because usually you expect these kind of characters to be like, this has advanced another 5 of my plans and has given me valuable data. But he's just more like he's just sitting in this void like, what the fuck? I spent centuries working on that.
I like the idea of a villain getting frazzled in that way, but they're not defeated.
Yeah.
It's not like everything is proceeding as I have foreseen it. Yeah. It's like, shit, that really did not work.
Yeah. And then he starts talking to an Ascian, but it's also clear that this Ascian was not working on the original goal. They've made their own faction of something to do something. We'll probably find out later. And of course, the next round of fan fests have been announced, which is what they use to announce the next expansion. We have the dates on that somewhere in here. The first fan fest is going to be on the 24th of April.
Okay. How's my girl Wu Clement doing?
She was mostly involved in the hitting stuff way too hard and actually managed to fucking strain herself so hard that her palm started bleeding.
Oh. That's a very
Like
that's a very Monkey D. Luffy kind of moment.
like that is like the ending of the Necron fight is probably one of the best animated cutscenes in the entire game. It does look really good.
Okay, I'm watching that at the moment we're done recording.
But yeah, she's fine. She did injure herself pretty badly by hitting things too hard, but it's Wooklamart. She was fine. She's running stuff, and she doesn't really have to worry about stuff like I'm aunt of the ruler of Alexandria because at some point we found the original Sphene. She's still alive. She's back in charge of Alexandria now.
I was sick of Sphene a year ago, and she's still here. All right.
No, this is a different Sphene. This Sphene is a lot less.
Yeah, that's like 3 different Sphenes. we had
There's a holy trinity of Sphenes. At least there's not like an entire Kabbalah of Sphenes. There could be 10 of them.
Yeah. So like in patch 6.0, there was the Eternal Sphene, the one that was like an AI created to run all of the Eternal stuff. Then in 6.1, Calyx makes another Sphene to pretend that that's the original Sphene, and everything's gonna be great. I figured out a way to make a bunch of us live forever, even better than the previous plan. And Calyx just deletes her in patch 6.2 because she fulfilled her purpose. But then there was the real Sphene.
Would it be like 7.2?
7.2, yeah, sorry.
Okay.
I'm getting the expansion numbers mixed up again because the launch of this game was version 2.0 because of all the bullshit with the original game.
1.0 lost to history at this point.
Yeah. But also there was the original Sphene that the first 2 Sphenes were based on. Turns out she wasn't actually dead. She was just in stasis for 400 years.
So there's alright, so the Sphene that we were dealing with was the Demiurge. And then there was another Demiurge, and now there's a true Sphene.
Yeah, basically.
Of course.
And anyway, she's back in charge. She's like, well, I mean, it's been centuries, and all this stuff kind of maybe I shouldn't be a ruler, but then everyone just said, no, we're fine with you still being a ruler. Go ahead.
All right, you're in charge again. That lizard dude who was a complete Nazi, wants to kill everybody. He's not around anymore, right?
Yeah. He's dead, and
good.
For the previous couple of patches, his son was in charge because he had basically fucked up Alexandria's computer so bad that his son was the only being that the system would recognize as the ruler. and Wooklamart had essentially adopted him because he's like a baby.
Well, yeah, he's her baby nephew.
Yeah. So that's where we're currently standing. I assume a lot of the Tural stuff will kind of just sort of fade from importance a bit because that's just kind of what happens in most of these expansions. The main story is resolved by patch 3, and then patches 4 and 5 are setting up the next expansion.
Also, there's going to be 2 more. I guess those are not going to be as much story ones, because my impression was that this is the story conclusion one.
It's setting up the setting for the next expansion.
Yeah. Okay, so this was the big Luffy punches the guy really hard moment, and then the next 2 patches are the part of One Piece where the pacing drops to nothing while they set up the next arc.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'll go back to Heavensward, for example. When Heavensward hit, at the point of the story ended, we did kill the Pope, but Nidhogg, the other main antagonist of the expansion, had figured out a way to steal Estinian's body and come back from the dead. So things were still screwed. It took another 3 patches to sort that out. We killed Nidhogg again, freed Estinian, basically overthrew the entire political system of Ishgard and replaced it with the Westminster system. And then
you gave it the British parliamentary system?
Yes. Might not have been the best idea, but that's basically what happened.
I mean, it's
over dumb French Catholics.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
regime
right.
nonsense.
Finally, Keir Starmer is here, and history can be over.
Yeah, and then that's all done by patch 3, and then patch 4 was setting up a bunch of basically setting up a bunch of plot points that wouldn't even be fully resolved until Shadowbringers, because it was largely about the Warriors of Darkness and such. And then patch 5 is when Ilbert and like the Alamegan diaspora in Ulda do the false flag attack on the Gallian Empire, and basically a suicide attack to both like sort of force the Eorzean Alliance to declare war on Galmald and also summon Shinryu, which leads directly into Stormblood.
Okay.
So that's just kind of how the expansions are structured.
All right. And anything like gameplay wise that you guys want to comment on?
It's an odd patch. I mean, there's a new Final Fantasy XI themed raid, but I mean, odd patches do not have that much gameplay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and also, I mean, I think we've kind of gone over this before. The patches do tend to get like spread out more over the duration of the patch. Like back when the game launched, like 2.1, 2.2, basically the entirety of the patch hit at once. These days, it's like, first the story and the raid will hit, and then a month later they'll have one side activity that was included as part of the patch. The next month they'll have another thing, and then about then they'll be ready for the next story patch.
Oh, so this is how they live game it. They drip feed you.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. All right. I thought I had assumed that just everything dropped at once. Also, when you said an odd patch, it's an odd numbered patch, not an unusual patch. Okay.
Yeah, 1, 3, and 5.
Okay.
Basically, 0, 2, and 4 are the ones that like increase the item level at the main raid, add to the main raid story, and then 1, 3, and 5 tend to be filled with more catch-up mechanics, add to the 24-player raid story, and such.
Okay. Is that everything we have for Final Fantasy XIV? That might be everything we have this month.
God, was there anything else, Kat? I'm trying to think of things.
No, unless you count people being mad about no ultimate in 7.3 or whatever. I have nothing to say about that. That's not interesting.
Yeah, that's just like... Yeah, their ultimate raids, they've never been every 2 patches. Because like they're hard work. They're like one big 15-minute long fight where you fight like 5 bosses in a row.
I guess the only other thing I have to talk about is people are mad about Vivi in Magic the Gathering.
That is not intended.
God, yes.
There was a Reddit post asking for them to ban Vivi. Also, there's a Polygon article from a week ago where they were asking, please, Vivi is breaking this video game. I don't know. By the way, Polygon is currently Vici Polygon, considering how Vox screwed over that website. So I'm not sure if this is an original writer or one of the new writers was brought in. For all I know, this article was written by AI. Because you'd have to be AI to not love Vivi.
Yeah. I mean, there was... I mean, we can have like the counterpoint, which was the one that came up on Aftermath yesterday. Vivi is screwing up Magic the Gathering, and you know what? Good for him.
Yes. I went to a witch convention last week in the woods up in upstate New Jersey, and I found a Vivi print and I had to buy it. He was the one thing I purchased. He's currently at my desk. He brings me joy when I need it most.
There are witch conventions in New Jersey.
Yeah. It's like a cosplay kind of. I think it's called a Lunar Fair.
This is good. I like this.
Yeah, I saw my first ever drag queen show. So there's
nice.
that. Yeah. I've played virtually no video games, as I mentioned, but I'll have to get back on that horse soon enough. Have you guys played anything cool, or should we just wrap this thing up?
God, I'm actually looking at that Vivi Magic the Gathering thing. I haven't touched Magic the Gathering in, I'm pretty sure since I graduated from university a decade ago, and it's like, even just reading these cards, I can see how just fucking vile this combination is. Like God, how do you not see these two cards side by side and immediately realize broken things to have ever been added to this game?
Yeah, I don't know Magic the Gathering at all, so I had Yoon explain to me how the card worked, and I'm like, okay, I can see this. It's got like infinite reload or something on it.
So there's two kinds of bits to it. So once per turn, Vivi can add mana in any combination of blue and red, its two colors, to your pool, where and the amount equal to its power, and like that's kind of balanced by the fact that he starts with 0 power, but every time you cast something that isn't a creature, Vivi gets +1/+1, so it just kind of snowballs stacks, from there. Yeah. Agatha's Soul Cauldron, the other card of this combo. So tap the card, exile target card from a graveyard. So remove a card that is in either player's discard pile from the game. Put +1/+1 on any creature you control. Any creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it has all the activated abilities of every creature you have exiled with this card. So basically, this means every time you play a card, you can set it up so that every creature gets +1/+1.
Yeah, that seems perfectly normal for me and Vivi. I don't see how that's a problem for anything.
Like the fact that you basically have infinite mana is just a bonus at that point.
You know, back on the wiki, we used to do the Dragon's Next Coliseum, and I think like almost immediately we realized we could never have Vivi take part in it. This was like a fan poll, and it's like if Vivi takes part in any poll, Vivi will win just automatically. Who's not going to root for Vivi?
Yeah.
He's just the best character the series has ever made.
But yes, he won Magicite Madness 1. I'm looking at this old-ass page from 2007. Congratulations, Vivi, with 10 exclamation marks. It's a giant picture of Vivi.
Yep.
So,
assuming we actually do this joke mock draft thing I did, I wrote up a, this is like we'll explain more next month, I guess, but I wrote up a auto draft list of what I figured the most popular characters would be. And Vivi, of course, is number 1.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, number 1 with a bullet, that'll be the first overall draft for Final Fantasy League.
Mm-hmm.
We'll explain more at the end of September. We didn't feel like doing it this month, but we'll do it next month, I guess. And I guess that wraps up August.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're a little less frequent this summer than we normally are, but we will be back on our monthly schedule officially. This episode will come out in a couple days. Is there anything else? Any final thoughts? The answer is no. We have no more thoughts. We've given you every thought that we have. All right. So I've been your host, BlueHighwind, and the podcast music is La Montana de los Jovenes Caballeros, which is by XPRTNovice off the OC Balance and Ruin soundtrack. Thank you for letting us use that soundtrack. It's Mount Koltz from Final Fantasy VI. The website of this wiki is finalfantasy.fandom.com. It is, as far as I know, still the best Final Fantasy website on the entire internet. Any issues with it that you have, it's all fandom's fault. We'd fix them if we could. Any complaints, go to them. Don't go to us.
Because we are not employees of fandom, we will openly, willingly say, fuck their revenue, use ad block.
Yes, go 100%. Use ad block on that website. It is unusable without ad block, as a matter of fact.
They've started putting up...
Having problems with ad block? I've also got the answer to that. Fuck Chrome, use Firefox.
Mm-hmm. Catuse, you were saying?
I've started getting notices of... Please turn off your ad block while I'm logged in as a fucking admin account.
What the fuck is the point? Registered users get no ads in the first place.
Yeah. Though I wouldn't be surprised if they changed that. Yeah. Bring back Monobook. The wiki looks like trash without Monobook. I miss Monobook. I know even Wikipedia doesn't use Monobook anymore, but it was good times.
Vector and Monobook do play to the same aesthetic, so that's fine.
Yeah. Anyway, that's that wiki, and we'll be back end of September when you'll finally find out whatever the hell Final Fantasy actually is. I'm gonna go to bed. Good night.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Fine. All right. I want to hear your lovely voices. Please talk for me.
Hello.
Yep.
Okay. Now I want you to sing me some bars.
Do, re, mi.
Oh.
Re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. I don't actually know the lines to the Hymn of the Faith. I think they just scat it, right? There's not actual, words.
I have no idea.
La, 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 la. Now you.
La, 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 la.
La, 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 la. Catuse. You left me hanging, damn.
Did we lose you, Cat?
We may have
Wait,
lost.
can you not hear me? Hello?
No, you cut
No,
out.
we couldn't hear you.
All right.
What the okay, let me, adjust my... Okay. Maybe if I do this, it'll be more... Okay. Yeah, it was weird.
La, 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 la.
Wait, okay, I see what's going... My microphone isn't recognizing singing as my voice. What the fuck?
Do you have an AI
try
microphone?
turning off noise suppression.
Yeah. Your microphone just knows you too well, and knows that the real Catuse would never